Today, I'm talking about a brand that I've never spoke about on long-form content. VMI White Heat Ultra Burn, their new capsule fat burner. This thing will make you a hot, sweaty mess. So if you're not familiar with VMI is a brand out of Long Island that does some great things. A very good friend of mine, Nick Karalekas, has recently joined the team. He sent some over for us to try out. So we're excited to be talking about this product today. VMI does things the right way, and they do things the legal way, which is seemingly hard to find in this industry these days. They don't copy other brands. They do things innovative and in their own way, and they also do it in the compliant, law-abiding way. I know, it's like rocket science or something. I've tried it. I've done my cardio on it. I've done my fastest cardio on it. I've gone to the gym on it. I've just sat at home and sweated my ass off in my seat on it. This stuff will make you sweat. It's an awesome thermogenic. And today we're going to go down the little list of the ingredients, and we're going to talk about why Nick put certain things together, why this thing will make you miserable, and why it will make you lose fat. I'm kind of kidding on the miserable thing. I don't want anyone to think that this is a bad product, but that's kind of a good thing when you're trying to lose fat, right? Like sweating so much. Like I don't know, maybe I'm weird. I enjoy it even though it's like not enjoyable. But anyway, enough about me and how much I was sweating. Let's talk about the ingredients in this product and what it's going to do for you. So VMI has a lot of claims for this product. They've got long lasting energy. They've got focus. They've got fat burning. They've got a whole bunch of different stuff here. But really what you need to know is it's going to be intense thermogenesis, metabolic dominance, and you're going to sweat a lot. Look at it. Sweat, torch fat, metabolism with an up arrow. Let's talk about the ingredients. From the top, we got 3 different types of caffeine, 400 milligrams of total caffeine. It's a lot of caffeine, but we got a lot of stuff to help deal with that. So don't worry if you're weird about caffeine. You can definitely handle the 2 capsule dosage. Just bring a change of clothes. 300 milligrams of dicaffeine malate. This is 73% caffeine by weight, so you're gonna end up with about 220 milligrams of caffeine net from this ingredient in specific. What's really interesting about this is that we normally see more caffeine anhydrous and less dicaffeine malate. In this case, we have 130 milligrams of caffeine anhydrous versus 220 milligrams of dicaffeine malate net caffeine. So you have like 90 more milligrams of dicaffeine malate, which is very different, and it's kind of very unique and cool. So we're about it. But what's interesting past that is they have another source of caffeine. It's a little bit further down on the panel, but we're going to talk about it now because I want to talk about all these together. Caffeine citrate at 100 milligrams. It's 50% caffeine by weight, so you're getting 50 milligrams of caffeine, bringing the whole total up to 400 milligrams total. So you get 50 short, 130 mid, and 220 long acting. You got a really nice little blend here. It's going to wake you up, get you moving. It blocks the adenosine receptors, so you got your energy and your focus, but it also is going to help kickstart thermogenesis. It's an awesome first kickstart to the formula, and we're moving forward. Banava Extract. Standardized for 20% Bacopa sides. 150 milligrams. Bacopa is an anxiolytic, so it helps deal with anxiety. So if stimulants kind of are weird for you, it'll help you out with that. That being said, there's some other cool things about it as well. It helps deal with cortisol. Cortisol is important because it can block fat oxidation, but it also can make you anabolic resistant. So nobody wants either of those things, whether you're trying to lose fat, gain muscle. Bacopa is really helpful as an anxiolytic, as well as an anti-cortisol. Helps out in a lot of different areas, and it'll definitely help you deal with the amount of stimulants in here. Last thing I want to say about Bacopa is that it is a feel-good ingredient. It'll help you just kind of have a nice mood when you take it. And it's one of those ingredients that when Mike and I see it in products, we're like, this is going to feel good. So with that being said, there's another ingredient to help out with these stimulants here, 100 milligrams of theanine. Now, what I like about it is that they've got a bit of a 4-to-1 ratio, caffeine to theanine. So it's not going to be too close. When you see that 1-to-1 ratio, yes, there is a synergy of theanine to caffeine in terms of focus, but it also kind of kills the effects of the stimulants. If you're looking for a study product, if you're looking for a gaming product, maybe that's helpful. But when you're trying to take something to go do some cardio or go do some training, well, you don't want to kill the stimulants too much. And they didn't do that here. You do get some synergy for focus here, but also we're really just looking for a little bit of a lightening on the amount of stimulants in this product because there are more coming. TeaCrine. TeaCrine is pretty cool because it is kind of like a chemical cousin to caffeine. It also blocks adenosine receptors, but it also activates dopamine receptors. This is kind of cool and possibly synergistic because Bacopa also regulates a lot of neurotransmitters, including dopamine, so that could work together with this. But really a good point here is that VMI is claiming long-lasting energy here, and TeaCrine can last up to 6 hours. So they're really not kidding. If you got caffeine in the short, the mid, the long, and TeaCrine for even longer than that, you're gonna have a lot of energy and focus for some time here. But one of the nice things is that TeaCrine does not increase heart rate or blood pressure. so it's not going to compound with caffeine in those kinds of ways. Now, moving into some other things, we've got green tea extract here, 50% ECGC, 50 milligrams. Now, green tea is not going to be the strongest of ingredients, but it is what we would kind of call a metabolic health catch-all. It helps out with a lot of different things, from blood pressure to insulin sensitivity to fat burning to just general well-being. It's an awesome ingredient, and we're really happy to see it in here in like as a supportive role. It's a supplement to the supplement, if you will. It's not going to be the most strong of ingredients in here, but it's definitely a nice support ingredient here. Kind of like the Robin to the Batman here. Pushing on through, we've got a big one here. While it's not like a hardcore ingredient, 40 milligrams of grains of paradise as paradoxine. Paradoxine is extracted and standardized for 6-paradol. It's not listed on the label here, but that's what paradoxine is standardized for. It helps out with a lot of different things, but mostly what we're really looking for here is the 5% increase in caloric expenditure after 2 hours that we saw in one study, as well as an increased loss of visceral fat, the fat around your organs, which is possibly the most dangerous for your metabolism, but also just the hardest to lose for most dieters. Grains of Paradise has been seen in a lot of different dosages, but 40 milligrams, the one we see here, is the accepted and supported clinical dosage. Anything above that is just frivolous extra dosing. Maybe there's a benefit to it, but none of the data suggests that. Now, after that, we hit a big one here, GBB. Often found in hardcore fat burners. It's a precursor to carnitine. However, I will kind of go a little bit further here and say that I don't really like it as a carnitine source or a fat burner. I like it as a sweat ingredient. This is what brings in that acute feeling of I'm sweating like crazy right now. It just seems to make everyone just drip buckets of sweat. And I think a lot of people are looking for that during cardio, during their fat loss phases. And there's nothing wrong with the fact that, I just don't really think it does all that much for fat loss. It just really helps out with that sweat in the moment. I think a lot of people are looking for that. So my definite recommendation is you take this pre-cardio or pre-training and not pre-work in a suit. So after that, we got Fucoxanthin, which is a 10% standardization at 10 milligrams. Now, Fucoxanthin is from seaweed, and it has a bunch of different benefits here that we're going to run through. First one is with carbohydrate absorption, metabolism, and how you store it. It helps make sure that you're storing carbohydrates in muscle tissue, which is really important if you're an athlete and you want to use it instead of just storing it as fat or in the liver or something like that. You want to use it for actual athletic endeavors. Now, it's also a beta-3 adrenergic. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I never say these things out loud. I just read them in studies and move on with my life. In white fat cells, which is really helpful for raising metabolism in the body. Some animal research has seen that high consumption of seaweed also can lower fat storage, but that wasn't specifically on Fucoxanthin and it wasn't a human study, so take that for what it's worth. Very few of us eat seaweed often, unless you're like me and you're obsessed with sushi, so this is a super helpful ingredient if you're not a big consumer of that. It's easy to get in these 2 capsules daily, and it'll help out. Like I said, kind of similar to the green tea amount, it's not going to be the shining star of this product, but it is a really great supportive ingredient that helps add to the benefits of what we're already getting. Now, Fucoxanthin may help with how you store carbohydrates, but Banava Extract, the next ingredient at 10 milligrams, helps a lot with blood sugar control. Now, I have to be careful how loud I say this because I don't want Lane Norton to come out of the woodwork and yell at me, but insulin is a factor when it comes to fat gain and fat loss. Obviously, when insulin is high, we're not doing all that much of fat loss. I do understand it has a lot more to do with, is it chronically high or low? However, in this case, Banava Extract has a lot of really great data to show that it lowers fasting and postprandial blood sugar, meaning fasting in the morning, your blood sugar is going to be lower, and post-meal, it's going to be lower, which is helpful for all sorts of different things. It's the reason that people take GDA so religiously. Mechanistically, this is actually done through the GLUT4 pathway. If you've watched any of my recent New Live articles, it's the same pathway that Insulin uses, so that might help you understand it a little bit better. Some in vitro research showed lowered absorption of carbohydrates, but we really try not to rely on that data too much. If you eat something, we like to utilize it instead of trying to make it pass through the body and being expelled. I prefer that most of our viewers look at things from an athlete point of view and try to use all things in performance instead of just thinking whether or not they can just make it be blocked. So we're getting down to the bottom here, and quite often we'll see these black pepper extracts. This one is Bioperin is being used in this one, 5 milligrams. Bioperin is a really great absorption agent. It's been studied in a lot of different ingredients. I don't think any of the ones in here actually have specific data. However, Bioperin is widely seen as a helpful ingredient for absorption. It's not very, costly, so it's easy to add to a product. and just help bolster up or support the absorption of the ingredients. Now I've got 2 more ingredients down here, and one of them is really what we're looking for in this formula, really one of the shining reasons why it works so well. Alpha Yohimbine hydrochloride from Rauwolfia vomitoria, 1.5 milligrams of alpha Yohimbine. This is going to be pretty strong. If you're sensitive to Yohimbe, I would still recommend that you try out alpha Yohimbe here in this small dosage. It's a little bit lower in side effects. Normal Yohimbine, a lot of people will report paranoia, anxiety, or a cold sweat. For me, alpha Yohimbine is less intense in the side effects, but just as effective in what you're looking for, which is tons of fat loss, especially in a fasted state. You're gonna see enhanced energy, enhanced fat loss, enhanced blood flow, amplified mood and libido, and of course, appetite suppression, which a lot of people like it for. Alpha Yohimbine is an alpha-2 antagonist, which leads to fat storage prevention and more energy. But it is important to note that when you're not storing that fat, you want to be burning it, which is why we recommend you take this pre-cardio or pre-training. Rauwolfia has become quite popular because of most people not liking the side effects of normal Yohimbine, so we definitely recommend that you use this product for those purposes. Definitely, if you are sensitive to Yohimbine, drop something that has that and pick up one of these. Now, lastly, we have Huperzine A here. It's coming from Tooth Club Moss. You got 1 milligram, standardized to 1% Huperzine A. We don't have any choline sources in here, so we're not really creating very much acetylcholine. However, that being said, Bacopa does actually help regulate acetylcholine in the body. So that does have a little bit of a synergy here with Tooth Club Moss Huperzine A, because Huperzine A is, it actually downregulates acetylcholine esterase, which is the enzyme that breaks down acetylcholine in the body. One thing I do want to note at the end here is that we have a very good form of B12 here. Methylcobalamin is much better than the shitty version cyanocobalamin that we see in so many different products. And we're happy to see that VMI went with a higher quality product, but that's not really a surprise when we're talking about Nick here. Nick, we know, does high quality products all the time. So that being said, thanks so much guys for watching. I do have to say, I got this product for free. We do have a business affiliate relationship with VMI. I am friends with the guys there, but we're big fans of what they're doing. They do good things for the industry and they help raise the quality of products overall. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and have a great day.
Welcome to Price Plow.